Alright, so this is an Arazu fitted with sensor dampeners, propulsion mod. Let's just go over some of the fittings here. We've got a covert cloaking device, so it can warp cloaked, and it is cloaked right now. We have a covert sinusoidal field generator, which, as you can see here, can only be fitted to either a force recon, to a Black Ops, or to a covert ops. It's kind of funny thinking of a Black Ops as fitting one of these things because it's usually used to bring in a Black Ops fleet. Alright, you can see a Dominix has just warped in and is 35 kilometers from us. Let's see, now while this is active, we can't move. Minus 100% velocity. It's a 30-second cycle time, so it's pretty quick. And then we can start moving again. It uses 5 units of liquid ozone, so we of course have that in our bay. Let's see, we've got a with Recon 4, a warp disruptor that can disrupt out to 43 kilometers, so this is 8 kilometers within. It'd have to go 8 kilometers away from us in order to get away. And I might think, why not go closer? And the reason is because of these sensor dampeners. These are targeting range dampening scripts, and we have a prototype Gauss gun. Now the fallout, the optimal is 39. The falloff is 49. So this is pretty close to our optimal. And we have the afterburner to try to keep range with this Dominix so it doesn't get away. And let's see what else. Then we have the buffer with a 1600mm plate, a couple of resists to allow it to be repaired if it was if we had brought any ships through that had to repair, which isn't actually typically likely with a Black Ops. So these you could switch out with other low slot modules. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We've got the Dominix, he doesn't see us, and we're going to decloak, and we're going to start the sinusoidal field generator. All of our Black Ops are going to bridge across in the next couple of seconds, but at the same time we put this, we're also going to target the Dominix. There's actually a delay in when we can target it, and in fact I can show you that here. Let me take off the auto target back function just so that I don't get any issues with this targeting in the future. Okay, so I'm going to show you the delay, how long it takes. Once we decloak, in order to target that Dominix, we can't do it instantly. So we're going to start this, and we're going to immediately start targeting it. As you can see, we have to wait. There's actually a timer from the last time. Okay, so we had to wait 11 seconds in order to target it. That's a pretty substantial time. So, the use of stealth bombers to do this is a really good idea. But now that we have this field up for the next 30 seconds, we're not going to be able to move. We instantly put on the disruptor, we start firing, and we put on these muon phase disruptors. Now with 2 of them, I'd like you to look at the Dominix, which is actually just a whole fit, but take a look at the Dominix, and you should be able to see, and it's putting that message right in the wrong place. Okay, you should be able to see that it can only target 24 kilometers. So it cannot target the Arazu back. As you can see, the Arazu is 35 kilometers. We put that third one on. Now it can only target 17 kilometers. So if it wants to try to burn in towards me to try to kill me before the other guys come through, it's going to have quite a distance to go through. And this is a battleship which usually has longer targeting ranges. Being a frigate would have much shorter, and it would have to burn even closer to me. But they do tend to move a lot faster. Now I'm just leaving this on just for the sake of talking about this transitional period, these first few seconds when once the Black Ops fleet is through, that 1600mm plate and the extra EHP will have kept this ship alive long enough for everybody to start hitting on it and through the 30 seconds. Once that's done, it's going to start moving. So let's put the fourth one on. So with the battleship that has typically the longer targeting range, that fourth one stacks, but it brings it to 14.5 kilometers. Okay, so this has the effect of preventing the battleship from being able to target the Arazu. Now, as you can see, the Arazu isn't doing that much damage because it's only using hybrids. So as soon as you get decloak, you get this up, and actually there wouldn't be a delay if I hadn't used the Sinusoid field generator before. And there's a timer once you stop it before you can start it again. You start that, you target. After 11 seconds, you put this thing on, all these modules on, and you're pretty much immune from whatever ship you're attacking. You can point it out at a long range, and let's see, you have this on as well for some resist. And the next thing you do is you go to your drones, and you send your drones out. Now, let me move this down so those messages don't go over the stats here. So my drones are out, and I set the drones to engage that target. As you can see on the offense, let's see, drone DPS. Right. So it's not showing the DPS of the drones, but I guarantee you they're adding a lot more DPS than just these. Now, these hybrids are using iron charges, which is the farthest range and the lowest DPS. So having them isn't necessarily a big deal. You know, you could put other things in these high slot modules besides just these two. So replace those out as you feel you need to. Okay, so right now we're basically using this ship as it's intended to be used. Once we get all these things on it, and we're putting on the DPS onto this Dominix, and it's going to go down a lot slower than it will here, just because normal Dominix is fitted armor tank. But this is just to show you. Basically, once this is off, now we can start orbiting, and you could right click and say orbit at 35, or you could have it already preset. Right clicking on our orbit, set the default, and you can have it already preset to 35,000 or whatever you want to be the distance that you orbit at. Click it, orbit, get our velocity on, and that takes us up to 451 meters per second. Makes this a harder target to hit, makes it easier to keep the range that we want, and yeah, it gives us a lot of maneuvering possibilities. Now, so it's going through the armor. I'm going to show you what happens if the Dominix tries to close in. So it can get its lock and get its drones on you. So it's trying to close in. And as it gets closer, the first thing that happens is your ship immediately starts, see if I can close this, your ship immediately starts to burn away from it. Now it's not actually going that fast. But if it comes in relatively quickly, your ship will immediately burn exactly away from it, which puts you transversal at 0. So clicking orbit does have that disadvantage. If you're transversal at 0 and you're targeting some kind of a turret ship, and it can get close enough to lock you, and that's the key, then you're a pretty good target. Alright. So as you can see, Dominix is going down with just that one, and boom, into structure. I hope that answers all your questions, and I hope you get some really good ideas about this.